Day 1 in Italy. We'd flown on a red-eye and took a train straight into Milan, then another train to the city of Como itself. We planned to visit a lot of cities within 9 days using public transportation all around Italy, so we only brought 2 backpacks, which made things a lot easier. We got here at the end of August, late enough for tourists to trickle out, but still within the summer timeline to feel the last moments of heat before fall came in. When we got to Como, there was a bit of idle time, so we sat and enjoyed aperitivos at this bar restaurant in the middle of the square. We walked around a bit before heading to our ferry, and the line was long, so naturally we'd gotten nervous since we were buying tickets day of. As we waited to board the ferry, we had the first of many gelatos and also contemplated the idea of taking an Uber if all went wrong, even though that would take longer and cost more. Thankfully, there were still spots left on the boat to our town. Ferries are basically the taxis to different parts of Lake Como, so it's important to stay on top of the departure times if you're trying to get somewhere. Lake Como has many towns along its Y-shaped lake, and we had planned to spend most of our time in Bellagio, but hitting Varenna and Lenno the next day. On board the ferry, Austin and I enjoyed the views of the lake and surrounding villas. I wondered how the locals lived, unaware that we are just all witnesses to the summer memories that they were making together. I was charmed at the garden-lined streets of Bellagio. It was truly something straight out of a fairy tale book with the cobblestone streets, winding alleyways, and small local shops. There was even a small carnival at the edge of town that week, something we had noticed on the way to our hotel. The walk to our hotel was along the road with no appropriate sidewalk, but after 8 minutes we had finally arrived. Our room was simple, clean, and had a lot of natural lighting, which I loved. Even the bathroom was beautiful. It had a tiny balcony that was surrounded by greenery, which lit the bathroom with faint greens and yellows. I booked this hotel with the intention of getting the best view of the lake and mountains, at a good price too, and it did not disappoint. Across the street of our hotel, there was a lot of land that we just decided to run through. I think we had post-travel zoomies of being so excited to finally be in Italy. Afterwards, we spent time roaming around the town, noting potential souvenirs to buy and taking lots of photos. We had dinner at this lovely restaurant called La Lanterna, where the menu was handwritten beautifully with dishes served atop a painter's palette. The pasta was simple but fresh and paired with a light red wine that brought us to a slight buzz. On our way back to the hotel, we stopped by to get another gelato, and it was a perfect way to end the evening. Day 2 in Italy. I'm not exaggerating when I say this is one of the best days of my life. Austin had planned a photo shoot with a media company local to Lake Como. We met Matt and Grace in the morning and rode the ferry together to the town of Varenna for a photo shoot in Villa Monastero. Due to the cloudy weather and early opening hours, we had the place all to ourselves, which made it a perfect photo shoot and surprise proposal. Matt and Grace made us feel so comfortable throughout the process and have a beautiful creative eye. They're truly wonderful people, and I wish they could be there to help capture our wedding too. Right after Austin proposed to me, the rain started, and it felt very lucky, like the weather was waiting until Austin proposed before it unleashed. We had aperitivos by the water. I just kept staring at the ring in disbelief the whole time, and Austin and I were looking at different rings from Ken and Dana, and they were just able to make a ring that was a combination of two styles that I really liked called the Shayla, and now it's just a permanent ring style they have. At this point, the rain was going crazy, and Austin and I just enjoyed the afternoon to ourselves, waiting until later to tell our family and friends about the engagement due to the time zone difference. We settled into a delicious lunch at Al Prato, and the highlight was this risotto colored by beets and dotted with stracciatella cheese. Afterwards, we took another ferry to Lenno to see Villa de Babliano. If you watch Star Wars, you know this was the one where that scene took place, even though I never got into Star Wars. But fan or not, this place was breathtakingly beautiful. We made it in time to get a tour of the mansion and then took our time exploring the rest of the area. Fun fact about this 18th century mansion and its gardens is that it has hosted writers, scholars, and travelers, and Count Guido Monzina was the last owner of the villa, so we saw a lot of his souvenirs from his travels around the world. There was also secret passageways that he built since he was worried about assassination. When we made it back to Bellagio, Austin planned a celebratory dinner for us at Mistral. This was so expensive, but a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so I enjoyed it even though I was worried about the price of it all. At this point, we headed back to our hotel and decided to tell our family and friends about the proposal, and it was so special to share this news with them as the start of our trip in the first 2 days of Italy.